I think the first thing to mention on this is that obviously there's Autotune on. Hello everyone, Nikki here and welcome to the Riff Yard. I'm joined as ever by my main man, Rodders from Just a Ride. Rodders, how are you?
I'm good.
Good hand there. Good hand. Good
I got
hand.
it right.
Job.
I got it right.
Yeah.
I've been working on this for like last 5 weeks.
Yeah, but it's great, mate.
Out. It's the
Listen,
left
you
hand.
start now, get perfect later.
I could be kind of like the Queen. Well, no, not the Queen. The King. Does the King wave like this?
No, he probably just goes like that now.
Anyway, should we talk Blink-182 and the Autotune debacle?
Debacle, yes. So, okay, so Blink-182 reformed. They played Coachella. Coachella live stream, broke the internet, everything like that. Big anticipation on this show. Can they still do it? What's happening? It's all going good. And then they play First Date. And something's going on with Tom's voice.
Yeah. I can't remember. We'll put a link to the video, but the dude who did this, who does a great breakdown of explaining technically what has happened, he refers to the moment as Auto-Tune Jesus. And that's kind of what happens. Like, a lot of people were kind of like, oh, wow, Blink sound good. And for anybody that has seen Blink in the past, they were always the band that was just about vibe. Like, it's like world-class drummer and, you know, a high school band with him, but they've just got such great songs. They've got such great banter and energy. You forget about the playing, really. But all of a sudden, they sound amazing. I'm like, what's going on here? You know, everything's in tune.
The harmonies are on point this time. Yeah,
and skeptics like us are going, something's up. They couldn't have got this good. And then we kind of find out why. But yeah, clearly some auto-tune was being used in Tom's vocal. Sounds like, again, something just went wrong, and the live auto-tune, which I'm sure lots and lots and lots of bands are using, just got put on crazy settings, and it was obvious. It sounded like Cher doing Believe, which is a great song. But, you know, do you want your pop punk bands sounding like Cher doing Believe? I don't know.
It's a great question because, you know, this is a genre that you don't go there to see great musicianship. Although predominantly in this genre, what seems to be known is that all the drummers in this genre are sick.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to be like the thing is that, yeah, anyone can pick up a guitar and a bass and just, you know, rock on through. But the drummers, you know, you've got to be a killer drummer to be able to make it in this genre specifically.
Listen,
probably more than most genres, really.
Radiohead said in their song on their debut album, anyone can play guitar. The song wasn't called Anyone Can Play the Drums. I tell you what, if you're a drummer and your band gets signed, be careful. There is a pretty good chance you won't be in the band for very long.
Yeah, look at all the biggest bands.
That's what A&R producers will just go, if you can't play, we'll just get hired gun in. I mean, that's what Josh Freese was born to do.
That's literally what he did. Yeah. He's played on most records that you've heard.
Any decent rock record you love, there's probably a 15% chance Josh Freese was playing drums because he's an animal.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, that's a real thing. I'd say that's a pretty close stat as well. You know,
and he was in the Vandals, wasn't he? Is that where he started off? Vandals?
Yeah, and then he was in Perfect Circle.
Yeah.
Anyway, for a bit. Yeah, of course. You know, listen, as we were saying before, coming on air, there's a mistake that's happened here. I think there's no beating around the bush about this. They have absolutely used Autotune live, and it has been working well. And then for this song, and we'll link to the video of this YouTuber going through a really good detail about what's happened on it, and I'd say I think he's 100% on the money with what's happened. Something's reset. There's a little error somewhere, as things do when you're using technology like that, and for whatever reason, it's fighting what Tom's doing. And I think you can see by the performance that it's obviously going in his inners as well, and he's fighting with it. And as the song goes on, it gets worse because I think he's becoming more aware of it and trying to, I don't know, maybe change. You can see he's a bit awkward and there's things happening. It gets worse throughout the song.
As a performer, you can see he's doing stuff like he at some points he basically shouts the vocal, you know, in kind of like, yeah, let's get the crowd going. He opens the space for, you know, he's like, come on, let me hear you sing it. You know, he's giving his, you know, the technical team time to try and fix this.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah. And I think that's that. And, you know, these things happen. They do, you know, and in their defense, they are not the first band that does this shit live, and they are not going to be the last. You know, I'd say a good 75% of bands, especially rock bands now, rock bands are probably some of the worst for doing this, right? Especially older legacy acts. You know,
do you think that's out? Do you think though that, you know, is that being done out of necessity? Do you know what I mean? Like, we are in the era now. It's the first time in history that, you know, it is not unusual for a 65, 70, maybe even 80-year-old rock star to get up and do a performance like this, right? You know, I kind of see what Blink-182 are doing is it's augmenting their performance. You know, and I do think, I'd love to know what you think about this. You know, there are some videos kicking around. I think it was Vince Neil doing Motley Crue tour. I think it was Kiss as well, where you can hear pre-recorded lead vocals to kind of jump in and essentially, like, look, we've both sung in bands. It's to protect the artist's voice so that you can do these mammoth tours. You know, back in the day, you know, I'm sure you know, Bon Jovi. No, like, you go see Bon Jovi, you've got backing singers. You've got backing singers to do the, you know, to do the key change, Living on a Prayer.
Yeah, outro. David Bryan, the keyboard player, does all the keyboard. It does all the keyboard.
Absolutely. So that you know, we're in an industry where everyone's trying to save money, everyone's trying to use technology. It's like, yeah, it's probably easy to do it on tape. It's more consistent. You know, it's that. Like, what do you think is worse? Like, Blink were playing, but they're basically augmenting their performance. What would you rather? Would you rather have like a Vince Neil where some of your vocals are on tape? I personally think, yeah, you know, getting a helping hand is better than essentially miming, especially when you're charging, you know, 200, 300 a ticket.
100%, Rod. I think with what we were saying before, if you're miming, and I don't mean using like technology to play a string part or a piano part and, you know, synth effects and sub drops and lights and stuff. That's not the same caliber here. I'm talking about you're there fucking playing along, singing along, and you're not actually, and there's shit going on and you're not doing it. That's not fucking good at all. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Like you said, what they're doing is they're just trying to give the fans the best by augmenting what they're already doing. That in essence, that's what's happening. Now, do you go, as we're alluding to this before, are you going to a Blink-182 show to see phenomenal musicianship and you go like, oh wow, look at that guitar sound, and like, I wonder what was on his board, and you know, all these other geeky things that musicians do? No, you're fucking not, mate. You're not. You're going there because you want to have a good time. You know, you want to drink some beers and stuff. Maybe I'm going to do it.
Maybe. No, stay away from that. Stay away from that. We do not endorse and we do not detract from any light beverage, light beer in the world, because we don't want to get involved in that. You know, I don't want to get shot by Kid Rock. He's got a what's it, an M15 or something like that. He looked really angry. I don't want to.
He was very upset.
I don't want to wade into this culture war when there are literally warriors coming.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm just saying maybe nowadays in 2023 and onwards that if you were drinking beers at a Blink show, maybe you're not going to drink Bud Light anymore. But
well, you're not going to get invited to Busch Gardens anytime soon, mate.
I'm more of a Disney guy anyway. Yeah, so let's just anyway, right? Okay, sorry.
Is that any better?
Probably not. You know, we're unearthing some shit.
Oh Lord,
I know. Yeah. Fucking hell.
I've tried. Right. I've done my bit. I've tried to take you away from this stuff. Let's get back to Blink 182.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, you're not going to a show to see that type of thing. If you want to go to a show and see the world's best musicianship, you know, you'll go and see someone like Tommy Emmanuel, you know, or you know, playing some just beautiful and stunning acoustic guitar throughout the night. That's what you go to that for. Are you going to go to Tommy Emmanuel's to drink Bud Light at Ronnie Scott's or something like that and get fucked up and stuff?
Do they sell Bud Light at Ronnie Scott's?
Well, I doubt it. But
yeah, I doubt it as well. Actually, to be fair, where do you get Bud Light in England? I've not seen it for ages.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen it. So
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Couldn't even boycott it if you wanted to.
Couldn't even boycott it anyway. Yeah.
Oh, you can't cry your liberal or your conservative tears.
You can't. No tears. No tears.
Shame that, because we drink Stella Artois. That's a proper drink.
All right, okay, but this is the kicker though. If you're drinking Stella, do you drink it in a proper pint glass or that weird shit glass they give you?
What are you talking about? I drink out of the can, warm. Do you know what? I just wanted to tell a story. I went to Florence, right, with a friend from Italy, and we went to this bar, and it was quite a nice little pubby kind of vibe. And so, what have you got on tap? And they went, oh, we've got an imported beer on tap. And I was like, oh yeah, what is it? It was special brew. They had special brew on tap, and they were selling it like it was some like artisanal beer. I was like, you realise tramps drink this in England? You're trying to charge me €7 a pint? Piss off. Anyway, we diverged. I don't know.
No,
I know you feel pretty strongly about this. But
yeah,
I don't know. There must be just so much pressure on bands to sound
Pressure's perfect. For tires.
Yeah, all right. But you know, we're in this world now, right, where the big bands charge the big bucks to do shows, right?
Yes.
And there must be this expectation that you have to be absolutely shit hot. Like, I'm going to see Blink in October. Yeah. It's more than £100 a ticket, right? On one side, would we be getting a level of controversy if they turned up and sounded like they did in 2002? Because people might go, is this worth the money? Because I'll tell you what, a good friend of mine who's a massive Blink fan, and he's got a pretty good ear, he watched the live stream. He watched the whole live stream live at like 4 o'clock in the morning because he's got a new baby, which is just an excuse. He probably would have watched it anyway. And he didn't pick up on the auto-tune. So, you know, was it that noticeable? Is it that noticeable to the common person? Me and you, like, our ears prick up like meerkats when you hear auto-tune, because you go, oh, yeah, I know what that sounds like.
Absolutely. Especially on a live performance, I can hear a fucking mile off. You know, but I'm trained. We're both trained people. Where not to, you know, I don't sit there and I try and seek it out. It's just that it has a certain sound and a frequency and a tone that you
like
can
a dog
hear
whistle,
like a.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, it is. But the thing that I thought about though, and I don't know, this is going off on a bit of tangent, right? So you're doing a live stream like that, okay, at Coachella. Right, you're essentially doing a big multi-track recording. There'll be a lag on it in case they swear, in case they say "fuck or bugger" or anything like that, which is by Bud Light. Or by Bud Light, or in case they decide to get an assault rifle and shoot some Bud Light for some reason. Sorry, I just find that I don't get it. I don't get it.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but the thing is like that live stream isn't available at the moment. Right, Coachella have cut it up and they're releasing videos. You know, they're not going to put out that live stream. I wonder, did it show up on the live stream? Because when you're doing the kind of performance they're doing, like I said, it's a silent stage. You know, it's probably all going through kind of amp sims. They're probably getting the DIs in, and they're doing a live mix for the stream. You know, so I wonder first off if it got picked up, because it only seems to be like the fan videos of people who were there who were recording it that have caused people like us to go, "What the fuck was going on there?" You know, so did they manage to get rid of it in real time for the broadcast? Is my first point.
I don't think so. I reckon it would be there. That's why I reckon First Aid got taken down.
Yeah.
And maybe. That's why there's a lot of people that put up stuff on YouTube. Their stuff is immediately getting taken down, which I know there's probably copyright on it anyway. But for anything like this, they're probably, you know, someone's going, get that shit down.
Oh, I'm sure, because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah, it's damage limitation, isn't it? You know, yeah, you know, and I have to say this. I don't think it's right. And part of me does get really upset with this and frustrated because of, you know, all the things that have happened to Blink and over the years, and illnesses and things like that. And they're really sad, and we should be really grateful. And also, you know, we celebrate the fact that we've still got a band like Blink-182 when we've lost people like Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell and people like that. You know what I mean? You have to look at this on a real level and go, hang on a minute, we're fucking lucky that he's still here. Really, we are. You know, he fought through adversity, and fucking great that not only has he done it in a short space of time, but in making a new record, they go back together and he's already played a fucking one of the biggest festivals in the world. Fucking amazing, Mark Hoppus. And I applaud you all the way. What I don't feel is right is that after all of this stuff, is that I'd like to think that it's maybe people like, obviously a band that big, when you're on this stuff, you probably got an MD, which is a musical director, that will, you play and they'll go, right, you need to fucking improve on that song, and you know, like pre-production for live.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's, you know, okay, guys, let's get this to compete with, you know, the biggest, you know, your Fall Out Boys, your Green Days and stuff, you know, who are putting on, you know, Paramore, you know, back and just, you know, apparently they're just fucking slaying it. You know, so they are competing with that stuff. It's the same genre, right? And it does bother me. You're paying a lot of money, you want to see it, but on the flip side is what you were saying, and also what my wife is saying, is like, can you not, Nikki, can you not just be happy for the fact that you're going on a night out, seeing three guys play these songs that we grew up listening to, and there's some great nostalgia, and you can build some fantastic memories from it, and be fucking appreciative, Nikki, that they're, you know, they're willing to go out there after all this adversity. They've put all their shit to bed. You know, they've got back together. And they're out there playing it. And I should really, you know, as we've spoken through this and what have you, my opinion on it is slightly changed from when we started this conversation, because I should really just put my head out my ass for it for a bit and just think, hang on a minute, man, like, music is fucking great. Do they make great music? Yeah, they fucking do. How does it make you feel? It makes me feel great. Awesome. You can't take that away from anyone. It's only because I'm a musician and I'm a bit snobby, and I am, that I look at it and go, oh, that's not very fucking right.
I think what also kind of brings it to the T is that Tom DeLonge naturally sings like an auto-tune anyway. It probably exacerbates it a little bit. Why don't we close with this thought?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If the big boys are playing with this stuff, yes, right? And I think we both know, you know, 75% plus of the big bands, you know, the kind of bands that are
5,000 cap upwards, without doubt.
Yeah, are playing with this to varying degree,
mm-hmm,
right? As the technology becomes more accessible, is there pressure on the smaller artists to do this? Because, you know, you want to sound as good as you can. You want to use every tool you can to kind of make that statement. And if you're a band who have ambition, like, you have to go, how we need to sound like those massive bands. And as the technology, again, becomes more accessible, becomes cheaper, becomes easier to use, is there pressure now on the smaller bands to do this? Because I think there would be so much more backlash than there is at the moment for, you know, if a band on a smaller scale was kind of revealed to be doing this. Because the kind of people that like that sort of music are a lot more kind of musos. They're more in line to thinking how maybe you and I are thinking about this. You know,
yes.
the kind of people who are like, oh, bands shouldn't use tracks. It's like, you know, and like we said, there's a difference. There's a difference between miming something, pretending you're playing something that you're not, and going, well, we've made this record and there are extra parts on it that if we had limitless funds, we would get a multi-instrumentalist to come on the tour and play with us. But, you know, everything's expensive. We can't, let's just get tracks to do that. This is a different kettle of fish. But,
yes,
you know, is this going to change live music totally? Just like Autotune has changed pop music and just music production in general.
Yeah, it will. I think the door's open now. Because also as well, you got to look. I looked at all the comments on these videos and no one cares.
Yeah.
Musicians care. Musicians care, right?
Is it because they care, or
Fans
is it
don't.
because
Fans don't care?
Is it because they're jealous that they didn't do it? Because at some point, it's like Lance Armstrong. It's like, well, if everyone's cheating, is it cheating?
No, it's not.
You know,
if anything, it becomes to why are you at a disadvantage?
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing.
Okay, I've got a quick question for you for a closer, Rod. If you're going out on a Just a Ride tour and you have the option to use laptops with lights and play all the piano parts and the synth parts that you got on the Just a Ride record, would you use live Autotune?
What, for my vocals?
Yeah.
No. I tell you what. I have a different stance on this. Like our guitarist Drew, he really is like, let's try and keep vocals to a minimum, because what I'm pushing for is I would put BVs and I would get the guys to mime them. But there's a pushback between me and Drew, and Drew's like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. What I'm trying to maybe convince them to do, or what I would maybe explore, is to say we wouldn't use the performances from the record. We would record live versions. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like
people do that.
It's just to give you that little bit of extra edge. You know, I don't know. It's probably because it's not like, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I wouldn't want to mime anything personally, and I wouldn't want to use any sort of live Autotune at all. However, I would be happy for other members of the band to mime BVs and stuff like that if they're not confident to do it themselves.
100%.
I don't know. Yeah, so it's kind of like a maybe answer, isn't it? It's probably a bit hypocritical. But the way I see it is, again, if I had limitless funds, you know, because touring's expensive, right? If I could get backing singers, I'd get backing singers, or I'd hire a multi-instrumentalist that can do BVs, you know. But at the moment, we're a band that's a 4-piece that we just don't have the economic means to do that. So, yeah, I'd say put more on track. But I also think it's really important that every member in the band is comfortable. So if someone really strongly feels like, no, I don't want to do it, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, when I was in the Rocket Dolls, the last 3 years of the band was we played to a click for donkey's years, right? Just like Ben had a metronome in his ear, and he just sit there, count away. It's only until like the records that, you know, caused for like all sorts of shit going on.
Yeah.
Orchestras, pianos, mellotrons, all sorts of stuff. That's just impossible to fucking replicate. You know, it's 250 quid a night for a fucking piano player to play 2 songs.
Yeah.
that's not fucking, you know, we weren't getting paid 250 quid, you know? So of course you're going to stick it on a laptop because you want to play the fucking song live because it's a great song. So that's what we ended up doing. And we had all the backing vocals on a track, and Joe would sing his part, which was taken off. So the line that he would sing wouldn't be on track, but all the bits in and around it were, you know, so it's still him. And if he got a bum note, you'd be able to hear the bum note, but there'd still be other stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got slated for it by the new wave of classic rock community. When we were on tour with Massive Wagons, we used it, and I remember someone went in heavily on us on it. Like, oh, I saw a band live, and then they were like, saw them live, they had a laptop, and I'm like, listen, mate, the thing is, out of the whole set, you're only hearing a laptop on about 2 songs out of the fucking 8-song set, dude. The rest is just on a normal click. Do you know what I mean? It's just like fucking.
The other thing is actually playing to click is not easy. That's a lot. Like, well, a lot of people who, you know, maybe they're really into music, but they don't have the experience of actually playing. And you know, I mean, there's different levels of music fans. You know, we're music fans. We're also musicians. There are people who have no idea of how it works, but they're music fans, and they just think, oh, if you're playing to track or whatever, oh, it's because you can't play. And that's actually the irony, because usually the better players, you know, to play well to click, you need to be one of the better players.
Yeah, you have to be one of the top level players to be able to play with it, you know. It's like, do you know the band Polyphia?
No.
Instrumental band, Tim Henson.
Tim Henman.
Tin Head Man. Tim Henson is the guitar player. Amazing, and they play with track, and they're probably the best technical band in the world right now, right? And the drummer's click went down, but they have to play the show. They can't fucking play otherwise. So the drum tech, his monitoring system worked, so he sat next to the drummer and with the drumstick tapped the drummer's leg.
Wow.
For the whole show, and they played it fucking perfect.
Amazing.
That's you telling me that musicians who can't play could do that? Not fucking chance.
Absolutely, yeah,
exactly. You know, but
anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it, isn't it? Let's wrap it up.
Yeah,
so, guys, what do you think? Do you think?
Let's know.
Yeah, does it bother you? Would you rather see a raw early 2000s era Blink-182, or would you rather see this polished beast when you go and see them, like I do, in October when they come to the UK? Let us know what you think. And also let us know if you think that this is going to be a changing point for live music and where we go from here.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Thank you.